Hi guys, welcome! When I look around on the internet, it seems like everybody wants to shoot slugs these days. And to be honest, I really want to do too. Because I'm a firm believer that the future of air gunning is this way, that we're shooting some ammunition with higher BCs, reaching out a lot further and a lot more accurate than we can do now with pellets. So I decided to dedicate a few videos on how I set up and documenting my journey to get this M3 shooting slugs in a proper way with some good accuracy on paper. So in preparation of these videos, I made already a video where I have installed a carbon fiber liner sleeve to stiffen up that barrel and get a little bit more of this oscillation when the shot is fired under control. I've also installed a slug power kit to give those slugs a little bit more extra power and get a little bit faster downrange. I just received word that I have the new FX integrated harmonic barrel tuner on the way, so we'll add that later and I will make a separate video of that as well. So without further ado, let's get this baby tuned. So to start the tune off, I will start with some basic settings and I want to up the regulator pressure. Normally, when I tune my rifle to shoot pellets, I want the regulator pressure to be as low as possible so I get a very smooth, soft shooting cycle, giving me good accuracy on paper. But to shoot slugs, I think I want to go for a higher regulator pressure. So my first regulator that is housed in the bottle adapter here in front, I will put it to about 180 to 185, maybe 190 bar. And the second regulator I will put to 150 bar. Always try to give 30 to 40 bar difference between your first and your second regulator in order to get a decent refill time on your power plenum. The shorter you put them together, the longer it takes for the power plenum to fill and you have to wait between shots. So FX says between 30 to 40 bar is a good average. The reason behind why I want to put it to 150 bar is that maybe it's just an idea in my head that if you use a higher regulator pressure, you get a lot of pressure behind your slug. It will expand just a little bit more than when you shoot with low regulator pressure. The slug will accelerate a lot faster and you need a shorter burst of air and the valve can close a lot faster in order to push that slug to its velocity. If that slug maybe will expand just a little bit in the back, it will catch the grooves a little bit better and therefore get a better twist and maybe some better accuracy downrange as well. Some other basic settings, I will start off with the macro wheel I will put on 8, the micro wheel I have put it on 3 and my valve and the front is exactly at line 4. So let me put up the chronograph and see what the results is with these settings just now. So I have the chronograph all set up. I'm shooting some H&N 30 grains in 22 caliber. Let's put the magazine in like this. Fire, make sure I'm aiming at the safe pellet trap with a concrete wall behind it and our first shot.
752.
750, really on the low side.
759.
752, 759.
761.
Going up slightly, maybe because I've adjusted the regulators and the regulators still have to find their position a little bit. But let's go to setting number 16, giving it a little bit more hammer pressure.
807. 812. 812.
812 feet per second. Second thing I want to do, let's open the valve to line, actually there are only 4 lines, but when you're at line 4 you can go out 1.5 turns extra to line 5, or how do we want to call it. So this is exactly line 4. This would be line 5. And this would be line 5.5. Let's see with the valve at its max.
953.
We're straightly going to 953.
960.
960.
951. 949.
Going a little bit down, probably the valve is settling in. Let's move it up, the hammer spring, to setting number 4.
956.
956.
958. 958. 953. 956.
958 to 953 to 956. It's a decent spread between those few shots. Let's see if I go down on the hammer spring to, let's say, 3.5. Let's see how much we lose and see if it becomes a little bit more consistent.
932.
Going to 930.
937. 939.
939, not exactly what I want. I'm aiming for the 960. So let's put the valve to 4 and just a little bit and a few clicks.
953. 956. 956.
956. Let's see if I open the valve just another little turn.
967.
So we just straightly jump up just a quarter of a turn.
970.
967, 970. That's just a little bit too much. Let's see if I can take some hammer spring off. Going back to setting number 4.
960.
960.
963.
963.
965. 960. 960.
So settling at 960. Let's see if I can take the valve maybe off just that quarter of a turn a bit, just below that 960 maybe. And of course I'm running out of slugs. I'll be right back, quickly refill the magazine. So, freshly filled magazine. Let's see where we were.
942.
942. It's a bit lower than the 960 before.
946.
946.
944.
944. But I forgot, I just turned in the valve a quarter of a turn. But actually, I don't know if maybe I'm gonna leave it at that, maybe not. Let's see if I increase the hammer spring tension just a little bit, where we end up.
944. 953. 935.
Make sure I'm not dropping off the regulator pressure. Seems like it's getting a bit inconsistent now because maybe I'm putting too much hammer spring on it.
949.
Back to the 950 almost.
944. 951.
Let's take that valve maybe just that little bit out again.
949. 956. 958. 953. 956. 953.
So I think I'm gonna leave it at that, around at about 955, something like this. It's a good average speed for slugs, as we all know that slugs fly really nicely between 930 to 960 feet per second. I know if I up the regulator to 165 bar, and I have tried it, open the valve all the way up and max out the hammer spring, I can get these 30 grains to fly at about 1050 feet per second. In my case, it's not really necessary. I'm not a hunter. I'm just looking for a nice flat trajectory and shooting at a little bit farther distances, that's 75 meters. So, just to recap a little bit with the settings we ended up. My first regulator is at about, now it dropped to 160 because my bottle pressure is lower than 160. But that regulator pressure, the first regulator, is at about 185 bar. The second regulator pressure is exactly at 150 bar. My macro wheel is at 16. My micro wheel is at line number 4. And my valve, 1 second, is, if I grab the gauge, is at about 11.75 millimeters out from the back of the face here. So because I'm past line number 4, I can measure it with some calipers and get exactly back to this tune. Pretty consistent at 955 feet per second, just the way I was looking for, 950, 960, something like this. In my previous tunes I would go a lot higher to 980, almost 1000 feet per second, as I would have to drop it down by the power wheel in order to see if I can get some better groupings at a different velocity. But thanks to the FX integrated harmonic barrel tuner that I have coming, I can fine tune it in the field and adjust the harmonics of my barrel instead of messing with my velocity to get those nice tunes. Now, before I end this video, there are a few more things I would like to note and to try that I forgot. Some people think that the extreme spread between shots is very important to get good accuracy. It is important, don't get me wrong, but that's not everything. Accuracy on paper is what counts. A difference between 5 to 10 feet per second on a shot is not going to harm your groups on paper as much as you think. So get it as close as possible together, get it shooting right, tune it very well, and you will see the results on paper. The only thing I still want to test, if I go down my hammer spring wheel or my macro wheel, to say like this, does my velocity also still drop, or I'm still overpowering my, my valve? So let's see the first shot where we left off.
949.
950. Let's go to 14.
939.
About 10 feet per second less. Go to 12.
928.
Again 10 feet per second less.
923.
That's a little bit less of a difference. Go to 8.
905.
That's a decent drop. Maybe that setting number 12, I have to shoot an extra shot.
895.
895, another 10 feet per second difference. Let's put it to 4.
875.
875, again, nice drop. Setting number 2.
849.
849, again a nice drop. And then we are at 1. So let's go back to 16.
951.
So here we are at the end of the video, guys. My FX Impact Mark III with this tune is in a pretty happy place, as you could see. Going down on the power wheel or the macro wheel, you could see the gradient going down in velocity. It gives me still the possibility to shoot some lighter weight slugs, not exceeding the 1000 feet per second if I don't want to, and shoot a variety of different slugs. Now we tune it at 950 feet per second. I tune it at 950 feet per second because 930 to 960 feet per second seems to be the sweet spot to shoot some slugs, what I have read on the internet lately. Previously I always had to worry or have to tune it much higher than at the velocity that I actually want to shoot it, so I could go down the range, go down the velocity range and see which velocity gave me the best accuracy. But with the FX integrated harmonic barrel tuner that I have on the way, I don't have to worry about this anymore. I can shoot them at 950 feet per second and just tune my harmonics with the barrel harmonic tuner like that. Pretty sweet, really looking forward to that piece of kit that's coming to my M3. That brings us to the end of the video. If you want to find out more about the carbon fiber liner sleeve video that I have done, or the Slug power kit that I've installed in my M3, you can find the videos somewhere in the corner of the screen or on the end of the video. To have a quick recap of the settings that my current impact now has, is the first regulator is at about 185 bar to 190 bar. My second regulator is at about 150 bar. The micro wheel is at 16. The micro wheel is at 1 click shy of number 4. And my valve is exactly, I'll measure it, at about 11.75 millimeters. So that's it for today, guys. I thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on the next videos I'm planning with my M3. I thank you for watching and I hope to see you back in the next one. Bye.